Hello and welcome. You're watching AMN Plus, and this is your weekly review reviewing the issues we had over the week. And I am Brian Tadusa, the host and producer. And with me today is Abebej Mekonnen, and wonderful to see you here.
Thank you for having me, Brahana.
Nice. And we had different issues over the week, right?
Of course.
Just remind us the top issues we had.
Of course. In today's our weekly review, we do have basically three topics, which is planting, a school feeding initiative, as well as the tax collection. Basically, we do have these topics, but we will have in detail of some subtitles in our discussions.
Nice. So it would be very nice if we can start from the planting. You definitely know what trees are for you, especially because well, before we came to the studio, you were telling me about something about trees, how important they are for you. And it's really important for everybody because without oxygen, we're nothing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I had experience of planting trees during the first launch of the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's the Green Legacy Initiative, because I was the one who was assigned to produce a program of the tree planting launch by the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. My experience was, you know, in a beautiful town which is called Arba Minch. Do you know Arba Minch town? Yeah. It's a very attractive city, especially for tourists. So I had the experience to this effect. I have put my footprint of a tree in that town. That was, you know, it was a great for me.
Yeah. So we're just one way or the other, what you're telling me, the benefits of planting trees.
Of course.
And it's just not breathing, by the way. Like I was just checking some of the information we had from some of the books, and I was really surprised to know that a single tree can produce about 274 liters of it, and a person needs about 500 liters of it. It means that every person needs 2 trees.
Exactly.
So what we are planting is just for ourselves. It's not for the sake of others, right? It's not only for the sake of beautification, by the way. It's really essential. So it's really good to remember that everybody's planting, and we have to make sure that everybody does really plant, because the more plants you have, the better environment you have, and the climate change will be changing in a very beautiful way, not with the way we expected, gas emissions, all right? And the other thing that everybody has to remember, by the way, whenever we talk about trees, is trees really restore our energy. They really calm our minds as well, and they protect water, by the way. And if we can have all this from a tree, why are we not then planting every day? Why are we not then planting every month and every year, every time? And this is, after all, just leaving a legacy. The next generation will be really thankful of us. They would say, this generation planted for us, and we have to produce more. And talking about the planting, by the way, there were many organizations, including different countries, attaches planting trees over the week. And just to mention some, we had the military attaches of different countries, like that of even Addis Ababa Design and Construction Works Bureau and Public Enterprises Holding. And some of the news were produced by you. I also did some of the news, but you did as well. So tell us about especially the military attaches of different countries, because we, the AMN Plus, have been producing different stories, different news about planting trees, and we're really happy that embassies and delegates have been planting trees. And tell us about it.
When we come to the organizations that have planted or that have participated in the Green Legacy Initiative, there are a number of organizations have been planting over the last week. To mention some military attaches of various countries, Addis Ababa Design and Construction Work Bureau, Public Enterprises Holdings have participated in tree planting, which means which a part of the Green Legacy initiatives. Addis Ababa Design and Construction Works Bureau have participated on planting the seedlings along with the various stakeholders of the YECA subsidiaries. As you know, the head of the Design and Construction Works Bureau, Ayala Shabtamariam, said the institution is, you know, exponentially participating on Ethiopia's vision on the Green Legacy Initiative. In addition to this, the Green Legacy Initiative aims to diversify the country's flora by introducing several kinds of, medicinal plants, reflecting a shift from the traditional practices towards broader applications for health and wellness, as as well as this effort encourage the addition of different types of medicinal herbs to the natural landscape.
And you also mentioned the military attaches of different countries.
Yeah.
And they took, of course, Ethiopia as a very good example, as a role model to other countries, and other countries have been even following, because Ethiopia broke the record of planting trees within a single day, and that's quite an example. You can mention some of the examples we have, like that of Malawi, and you can go to other countries as well.
Yeah. During a seedling planting program, which is a part of Green Legacy, which was held at the National Defense Headquarters in Addis Ababa, Malawi, military attaché to Ethiopia, Brigadier General Crispini Robert Firi told to Ethiopia's news agency that Ethiopia is working an exemplary role for not only for Ethiopia, but also for Africans as well as for the rest of the world.
Sure.
Because it is a pivotal step, a pivotal move toward this, putting the legacy in terms of planting trees, in terms of saving the world, in terms of creating the pollution-free generation as well as pollution-free world. According to him, the Green Legacy initiative that Ethiopia has been implementing was, to prevent and mitigate climate change is a model not only for Africa, as I have mentioned earlier, for all of the world.
That's amazing. And while I was checking the Italian military attaché to Ethiopia, that's Colonel Marco Podiallo.
Yeah.
And he said that the Green Legacy initiative is of a paramount importance to pass a pollution-free world to generations. And this is quite an example, because mostly when you go to cities, most places are really polluted, and you can see it in different ways, by the way. So the time we have now, the time why we are going mostly to the electric cars and other ways, is because we are polluting the air. And
Definitely.
one way to stop it is not just only going to electrifying things, but the easiest way to do is planting trees.
Definitely.
So we have to teach the generation that they have to start teaching even planting trees, like I mentioned before. Everybody, every single person is at least 2 trees a day to breathe oxygen. So it means that at least I have to plant more than 2, like at least 4 or 10 will be nice. So this all the attaches are saying that Ethiopia made, of course, a wonderful example to other countries, and we have to keep that one at hand. We have to remember in mind, bear in mind that planting is really for everyone.
Exactly. Not only the Italian attaché, there were also the Mozambique attaché to Ethiopia, the Africa Union and Ethiopia's attaché Colonel Fernando Mackenzie Jimu echoed also the sentiment that Ethiopia is, carrying out in terms of applying or implementing the Green Legacy initiative in Ethiopia, as it is exemplary, as it is, estimable for the other countries. The colonel also expressed his hope that many others can follow the step that Ethiopia is taking place in terms of implementing the Green Legacy initiative. So the Ethiopian Green Legacy initiative is, is being described in different perspectives towards saving the world, towards creating even new initiative in the continent, because we can interpret in different ways. For instance, in terms of changing the culture of Ethiopians towards making or doing something consistently. The resilience of the generation by itself can be seen or raised towards this Green Legacy initiative. So it was described in different perspectives.
I really appreciate it. Even the European Union ambassador to Ethiopia, Sophie, and others, by the way, spoke about the Green Legacy, and it would be very nice if you can give our viewers what they had to say. And we'll be back watching this. You're watching AMN Plus, and this is your weekly review with me, Brian Taddese. We'll be back.
We plant more trees. The weather, like right now in Ethiopia, we are having plenty of rains because of these trees. Today I've planted some fruits. I'm even carrying a fruit. If I would not plant, I would not get this fruit. So it is very, very important that we encourage, not as I indicated, not only here in Ethiopia, but Africa, the whole continent, or the the whole world. We should be encouraging the planting of trees so that we prevent or reduce the effects of climate change.
This initiative is very important because the world is affected by the pollution and the environment needs to be respected. So this initiative, it is a very good example for the entire world how to respect the environment, how to respect the climate, how to respect the world. It's our home, so it need to be respected, and this is a great initiative. I want to congratulate with the NDF, with the Minister of Defense for this, and with the government of Ethiopia for this initiative, because as I said, it is a great example for the entire world.
This is I can commend the government and especially the Minister of Defense to continue to make this program, because the plantations of green program is very interesting, not only for Ethiopia, can be for all, example for Africa, for another neighbor country.
ከአምናም በፊት በርካታ ችግኞችን የተከልንበት አምናም ወደ 32000.
In the past subsequent years, as part of the institution, we were significantly participating on planting trees. We also watered the seedling after the plantation, enabling them to grow. Last year, we planted over 32,000 trees, and this year, with Prime Minister's initiatives on green legacy, the staff is planting over 1,500 seedlings.
ከለውጡ በፊት ግንባታዎች ሲገነቡ ህንጻ ተኮር ብቻ ነበሩ.
Previously, we were more focusing on construction activities. However, after the reform, we are making all the possible effort to focus on the overall green environment apart from the construction works. We are giving prominent attention to create co-friendly environment besides our main responsibilities.
ላለፉት 7 ዓመታት በተሳካ ሁኔታ 40 ቢሊዮን ችግኝ በላይ
More than 40 billion seedlings have been planted successfully in the past 7 years. Efforts have been also strengthened for this year. Apart from increasing the forest coverage and protect soil degradation,
the Green Legacy Initiative has been held each year in a good spirit and inspiration. Institutions, individuals and everyone is taking care of it very well. The seedlings being in this year have various significances, like in addition to preserving the environment, it plays roles for food security. For instance, the seedling we have planted today is avocado. Avocado is used for food and as an industry import. Focus has been given to papaya, mango and other fruits also.
We're witnessing a remarkable change on the weather condition of the city. We're not experiencing the danger that degraded areas are facing currently. I do have children. The initiative will allow my children to live on a greener and suitable environment. We will pass a better living area for the next generation.
I'm participating for the 7th time. I have been planting seedlings since the initiative has been started nationwide. The outcome of the initiative is being seen as we preserve land degradation and a suitable weather condition.
Earlier, we were planting forest seedlings. For the past 3 years, we have been planting edible trees that accounts for more than 70% of the plantation. This will play a crucial role in the country's drive to be food self-sufficient.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Addis Media Network, and this is your weekly review, and we're reviewing the issues we have at hand. And here is Abubakar Mekonnen, and having a wonderful time discussing even the different issues we have at hand. And the next issue will take us to school feeding initiative, and you're one of the supporters while we're discussing the school feeding initiative. It's not only, by the way, school feeding initiative. You really support that feeding is really one of the most important things that we have to do to ourselves and to others as well. And there are even other feeding programs, including in Addis Ababa and other places in Ethiopia. We know that there's Tesfa Birhan, who's feeding the elderly and other people who are unable to feed themselves. And even in some places, there are even teachers who are being fed because they need to be supported while they're feeding the generation, so they need to be supported, by the way. So talking about the school feeding initiative, Ethiopia is, of course, making a significant stride in transforming its food system by implementing nationwide school feeding programs. And this is really a key combat child malnutrition and boost quality education.
Yeah, definitely. As you have said, it is a significant step. Brahana, as you know, Ethiopia is known for its largest number of population in Africa. Because of this is important to implement such kind of initiative, because there are a number of people that cannot that are not able to feed themselves as well as their children. So in terms of addressing such kind of society, it's important to implement such kind of initiative. To this effect, the Addis Ababa city administration by itself is, taking place to implement this school feeding initiative, because of there are plenty of students that need the implementation of this initiative. So this directly helps the student to join into their mind, to join into their inborn quality, so that they can have stable mentality, as well as so that they can think about their future, they can think about their dreams, so they can have at least what they have to eat. In terms of this is very important. I can say
you were
this.
telling me about the numbers as well. Like you said, you were really quite surprised when you see the numbers. Almost 1 million students daily. They're being fed daily, and employing more than 13,000 women.
Yeah, before coming to this studio, in fact, we were talking about that numeric data. In terms of thinking about the students, those who are in need of something to eat, in need of something to drink. Seeing such kind of numeric data is, to me, really it is amazing. Really, it is impressive, because it's approximately it is around 1 million students are having this school feeding initiative legacy. This is very important, because people may not think it's this way, but let me take you for some minutes in the space or in the school with no eating food, with no having any drink, any drop of milk, any piece of egg, and so forth. So that is it's difficult to a single student to think about education, to think about learning something, to think about his or her dreams of the future, because once you are entered to the classroom, you are there to think about your school, to think about your subjects you are going to learn, to think about your dreams that you are going to live, that you have to think about your life that you are going to enjoy in the future. So in terms of making this true, the initiative is really it's amazing. It's very it has to be encouraged. I can say like this.
It's really good to remember that just the number, even feeding a single child, is really quite challenging.
Definitely.
Everybody who's parents really understand it, but this is quite a big number, over like 800,000 people daily. That's quite a number. And we really remember that over years there were some students fainting even during the exam classes, exam times, testing classes, even sometimes while they were taking just normal classes. So it was really quite challenging for teachers to see that while you're teaching, while you're delivering, while you're imparting your knowledge, a student is unable to see whatever you have right there. And that is quite really shocking. But now it's been changing. The history has been made. Feeding almost 1 million people, 1 million students a day is quite a number. And those who are doing this initiative really deserve the thanking. And we're watching, by the way, Addis Media Network. And this is your weekly review with me, Brian Tadasa. We'll be watching this school feeding program, and we'll be back right away.
More than 834,000 students are currently benefiting from the 2 meals per day. The feeding program not only helps improve students' health, but also it promotes productivity and educational success. The initiative has created job opportunities for over 60,000 and 600 mothers and served more than 36,000 elderly and disabled individuals through 22 feeding centers.
I have benefited greatly from school feeding program. It provides not only meals but also educational materials and uniforms. This has allowed my family to focus on their children's education without worrying about food and school supplies. The program has truly made a difference in our lives, easing financial burden and ensuring that we give focus to our education.
I no longer worry about providing food for my children. This student feeding program has been a huge relief for me. It not only provides meals, but also ensures my children have the educational materials and uniforms they need. I am grateful for the opportunities it has given my family.
Dear viewers, we're back and you're watching Addis Media Network, and this is your weekly review with me, Brian Sadasa and Abebich Makunan, and we witnessed a wonderful video, and we're back with the growth of Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa has been, of course, in a great transformation, and people are witness. We're not the only witnesses, and people from within the country, and people who are visiting Ethiopia for one way or the other way. It could be even for conference reason. So when they finish the conferences, even at the time of conference, they are telling us that a great deal is being done, especially with the corridor development. And one of the things that we can remember is the Africa Climate Summit, which is coming very soon. And the senior UNECA official who took part in the UN Resource Mobilization Roundtable meeting for the successful event of the event said that Addis Ababa, of course, is in holistic growth and a lesson for big cities across the continent and elsewhere in the planet. And by the way, Abebich, you've been, I know, watching some of the videos, and even people, you were interviewing some other people while they were talking about Addis Ababa and saying that Addis is really flourishing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Addis Ababa, in post-reform Ethiopia period, Addis Ababa is, undertaking plenty of transformational developmental activities through its corridor development initiative. Addis Ababa is, making an exemplary roles for the rest of the world as well as the Africa, the continent.
And I really appreciate that. And how is Addis Ababa's growth a lesson to other cities? This video will give us the answer.
Well, even before the Green Legacy Initiative, Ethiopia had developed the Climate Resilient Growth Initiative. And this was actually way before many countries had begun to think about how they could link climate change into their development strategies. So in that sense, Ethiopia was already a leader. And then you have the Green Legacy Initiative, which is in fact a nature-based solution to the challenges of our climate change. And our assessment is that it is in fact an initiative that is scalable to other African countries and that can contribute to the global African contribution to climate resilience. Ethiopia also has other initiatives beyond the climate resilient growth strategy, beyond the Green Legacy Initiative, including contributions to thinking about climate financing, contributions to building the capacity of less developed countries in negotiating to the global climate governance regime. So Ethiopia is a leader, and our institution, the UNECA, is supporting Ethiopian government in many ways on this climate journey. We have colleagues here who work on infrastructure, technology and development, and they have been engaged closely in thinking about the corridor development program, in providing advice on infrastructure, on transportation. We, from a climate change perspective, think that the advances that have been made, particularly around questions of electronic mobility, around reducing emissions from the transportation sector, as well as around greening the city, are very positive developments with important lessons for the rest of the continent.
The Green Legacy is really is inspiring. It demonstrates how this is not just a top-down approach. It's really bringing all the people together because climate change is affecting everybody, and everybody has to contribute at every level how it can. So the Green Legacy initiative is really very inspiring, and is the demonstration that the response should be at all levels. This is what Ethiopia is demonstrating. Of course, as I said, the challenges are huge. Our countries are really affected. Research research and development, developing natural-based solutions, adapting seeds, agriculture, climate-smart agriculture, all these efforts. For instance, I'm responding to the challenge of droughts. So Ethiopia also is exploring all these solutions to really accelerate the response while already developing, as the Green Legacy Initiative developing response that is changing our approach towards this challenge. And also we are sharing what Ethiopia is doing with the rest of the continent, but also we share what is happening in other parts of the continent, so all our countries could benefit from these very, very inspiring experiences. Ethiopia took a very strong decision on the electric vehicles. Addis Ababa is at high altitude. The oxygen is really an issue, and the urban pollution was a strong issue. So this solution is really responding to that challenge, and we see how today the number of electric vehicles is increasing. The infrastructure also is responding. It's not something easy to implement, but the things we witness the change, this rapid change. So we really, this is a call for all partners to come to support this effort, because this transformation of Addis Ababa could be really an example, an inspiring example for many, many African big cities, because Africa is experiencing urban transformation that there is no country in the rest of the world that has experienced this very rapid urbanization. So this creates its own challenges. So we really need to learn from what is happening now, today, across the continent, in Addis Ababa, in Lagos, in these growing Cairo big cities, to really adapt to that. So it's very important to respond to these challenges, but at the same time to have the lessons learned from these responses to also share with other African capitals to really make sure that we together we bring the right responses to these challenges.
Dear viewers, we're back, and this is your weekly review from AMN Plus, and reviewing the issues we had over the week. And the next issue will take us to tax. And before talking about the tax, it just every time I see a tax, the landlords in different places, and they ask you for money that you pay monthly or every year. Yeah. And when you ask them for something, you said you have to pay the money first. Yeah. If you need some renewals there. If you say the key has a problem, so you have to pay on time. And
if you need some change, you have to pay.
Yes,
you need to pay on time even.
That's true. And talking about the tax collection, and people, especially these days, really appreciate that their tax money and the money collected is in different ways, like in one way with the development, and they see even some technologies being even going to different places, especially within the country. And you can see the Green Renaissance Dome, by the way. The Renaissance Dome is even our own money, so almost everybody paid something for that one. And one of the other ways we talk about tax collection is that tax, of course, is the backbone of a country, and if we don't pay a tax, it's really difficult to even expect about development. It's really challenging even to talk about how a country could develop without a tax, unless you have something else, and that something else has to be even helped by the people as well.
In fact, if a country needs to be changed, the system of tax collection has to be modernized, and also the system of tax collection has to be implemented on time. The citizens of a country must pay a tax on time, and also in order to for the efficacy of the tax collection, the government by itself is expected to to pay attention for the efficacy of the tax collection, as well as the society by itself has a kind of the awareness problem. So the awareness creation has to be also done to scale up the tax collection process, because when you see the developed countries, they are very serious in tax collection. The citizens are also well informed of tax paying. If they pay tax, they ask for their rights to have anything, for their right to be fulfilled. If they don't pay, they know that they cannot have any infrastructure, any basic needs. So when we come to Ethiopia, the society by itself need to be, to be well informed towards the tax. If the tax collection process is hindered, it directly affects the country's development activity, the project implementation activity, as well as, the entire life of the citizen in a country, we can say.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said over the weekend while he was talking with the taxpayers. He said that what you've done for Ethiopia is remarkable. Your role has been like the role of soldiers, and we're grateful for that. And Mayor of Addis Ababa City Administration, Mayor Addis Ababa, also said that we have been able to achieve various mega projects and other development activities which have been sustained Addis Ababa's reputation. And these two videos will be played next to this one, and we're watching, of course, these videos, and we'll be back.
We have been able to achieve various mega projects and other development activities which have sustained Addis Ababa's reputation as the third diplomatic city of the world because of the loyal taxpayers. It is because of you all taxpayers, and we're truly grateful.
Budget sovereignty challenged our sovereignty. When we as governments start planning about projects, we often draft loan as a part of our budget, and that is troubling. Incorporating foreign loan as part of budget is challenging. Assuring budget sovereignty makes political and policy sovereignty complete. To assure this, therefore, the taxpayers we are acknowledging today have played a pivotal step. What you have done for Ethiopia is remarkable. Your role has been like the rural communities. We full-heartedly tell you that the tax we collected from you has been invested in many infrastructure projects and investments in Ethiopia. In all corners of Ethiopia, we are working on massive road infrastructure. We are also modernizing agriculture and boosting productivity. In urbanization as well, as many of you witness, our involvements in Addis Ababa are massive, and as we promised, we will make Addis Ababa great like its name.
እንደተናገርነው አዲስ አበባን እንደ ስሟ አበባ ማድረግ ብቻ ሳይሆን በአፍሪካ ውብ ከተማ እናደርጋታለን።
So Ababacha, we've been discussing, of course, different issues over the week, and I really appreciate that he just came and discussed, especially like planting, like you mentioned some of the military attaches of various countries, Addis Ababa Design Construction, and other companies as well, talking about the planting, and he gave us your own examples as well. And we went to Albamanj, he gave us wonderful examples right there, and we went directly to school feeding initiative and tax collection. Quite amazing.
Well, we had a wonderful time. Thank you for having me again.
I will have you some other time, hopefully.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. And dear viewers, you have been watching Addis Media Network's weekly review. We're reviewing the issues we had over the week. I am the host and producer of this weekly review. Hopefully, I will have you next time. Bye for now.